Okay, so let's see what else we need to do. Let's grab the tank again, and I think we'll cut the hole at the top now. Let's hide everything else here. Okay, and let's maybe just do this on half again. So let's go in here, we'll delete the turbo smooth again, go to polygon. Let's just grab all the polys here on the left side of center, and we'll delete those out for now. Okay, so we want the hole right in this section here. Let's just take a look at the reference pictures again. Okay, you can see where the handle goes in here. We can actually see it through it on the other side there. It's pretty close to the top, it's a little bit further down. We have a little bit of a gap there, so let's just put this in. And we might need to adjust the edges here a little bit. Just check it out in the side view. Okay, so I think we want it roughly in this section here. Let's maybe add another loop. Alright, so I'm just going to grab these edges here and connect them up with one segment. And let's also turn on edge constraint and make planar on Z. And we'll just pull this angle or this edge down just a little bit. And let's also maybe add one vertically here in the center. So let's grab all the center edges and do a connect with one segment right in the center. No pinch, no slide. Okay, and let's also get a circle in here so we can judge the size we need. Alright, so we're just going to drag this out right around here. And let's change the interpolation steps to 1. And we might need to make it a little bigger than that. Let's maybe go up a bit. Let's do maybe like 9 on the radius. And we'll just move this forward here so we can kind of see it. Okay. And I think that's probably close to the size we need. So let's go in here and we'll figure out what other edges we need to add. Let's also change the color of this to black and reselect the tank. Okay, so let's maybe put this maybe down a little bit. See if we can get away with doing it at this intersection of edges here. Okay, I think we'll go with about that. We just want to make sure we have enough room to fit in the lid there on top as well as the actual handle shape. Alright, so we'll put it about there. And let's just clean this up a little bit more. We want to make sure that we're looking at just the outside edges here. Okay, it looks like we have the same flow on the inside, so let's add a couple more verticals. Alright, so let's just grab that center edge again. Alright, I'm just going to make planar on X, or Y, sorry. And let's also maybe just chamfer this so we can get a couple of additional edges on each side. Alright, so let's open up chamfer here. We'll take it up to 2 segments, which will give us the center edge, and we'll just push this out a bit. Maybe something like that. Okay, and let's also select this loop here. And we'll just move this up slightly to kind of evenly space this. Let's also grab the one on the inside there, loop them both, and just move that up. Roughly like that. Okay, and now we can actually chop this in. So let's go in here, turn off edge, we'll reselect this, and we'll just go snap this to that vert there. So let's turn on snaps and just snap it to that intersection. Okay, and now we'll go over to cut again with the tank selected. We'll keep our snaps on for this again, and we'll just cut this in on the outside. Alright, so same deal as usual, just trace around it, click on each vert, back to where you started, and then right click. Okay, and then we'll switch our right view to left, and do the exact same thing on the inside. Okay, right click, turn off cut, turn off snaps, grab that circle in there, and delete it. And now we'll just quad this up here. So let's grab one of these polygons here so we can zoom in, hit Z, and we'll just connect up the pairs of verts here on the corners. Alright, so just grab each one there, and connect. And the same thing on the inside. And I'm just using my keyboard shortcut for a cut here. Okay, so I'll quad it up. Now what we'll do is just go over to polygon. Let's go to select here. Just going to grab the 4 verts on each side. And we'll just do an inset here to get some supporting edges. We want this to be a little bit sharp, so let's take it down. And just for good measure, let's do it twice. And then we'll hit OK. Okay, so same detail on both sides, and then we'll just hit bridge to cut this through. And now we can just add a couple of segments on the inside, so let's ring this edge and connect it up. And we'll just do 2 segments and pinch those out a bit. Okay, so that should be good for that hole. Let's do another symmetry on this now. Okay, that'll give us a hole on the other side. Alright, so just make sure everything's touching up in the center there, you have no gaps. And we'll collapse this back to editable poly. And we'll test smooth it here. Okay, and just check out those holes and make sure that everything looks right. Okay, it looks pretty good. Okay, so now we'll cut the last hole, which will be the one at the bottom here where the water goes through. Okay, so we need to unhide it all here. Let's turn our edge on at F4, and we're just going to control click the base, hide everything else. Okay, and we'll go into the top view here so we can see where that hole is at. Let's reselect the tank. Okay, and you can see the edges here need to be adjusted a bit so we can cut this in. You can also see they're still a little twisted. So we can actually straighten most of these out if we want to here. So let's just delete the turbo smooth again, go back to edge, and let's just double click on a couple of these to loop them. And we'll turn our edge constraint back on. And we don't want to move them out of position because we don't want to change the angle of the top here. So we don't want to slide that around too much, but we should be able to get away with doing a make planar on X here with our edge constraint on. Okay, so I'm just going to do that to straighten out the loops here so it's a little easier to see what we have. Okay, we're going to avoid these ones here around the hole. We don't want to change those, but we'll just straighten out the rest of these ones over here maybe just to make it a little cleaner. And we could definitely, you know, do quite a bit more optimization on this to reduce the edge count. Okay, but for now that'll make it a little cleaner. Alright, so we want that hole in on this part here. So let's maybe just get another circle in here so we have something to guide us. Alright, so we're going to go in here and draw out a circle on top of this. Okay, and we'll just kind of eyeball it into position here. And we want it to be slightly smaller than the hole we have on the base, so let's just adjust the radius a little bit here. Whoops. Take that down. Let's do maybe like 26.5. That should work fine for us. Okay, and now that we have that in there, let's select the base again and hide it. Let's change the color of this to black. And we'll reselect the tank here and just adjust some edges. Okay, the center edge that we put in for the sides there isn't really going to help us. We're going to need to move these up and down a bit so we can kind of fit this in here. And I really don't want to cut a bunch more edges across this, so let's see if we can just readjust these bottom edges here, or the bottom verts, to make this work. Alright, so we definitely don't want to move any of these edges here. So just want to play with these ones down here, just move these verts around a bit. And we want to make sure that we get it on the verts in the same location on the bottom as we have here on the inside, just so we can cut the hole through with everything matching up. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is just grab this row of verts here. Let's slightly push this up a bit to get some space. Let's bring these ones down about the same distance here from the circle as we have up here. And let's also just readjust these ones so they're centered. Okay, so we'll kind of just put that right in the center. Alright, and we also need some space this way, so let's grab these ones and we'll just scale this out a little bit on the X. Okay, and I'll just bring this side back a little bit more so it's a little more even. Okay, now we need a center vert or an edge here, so let's ring this edge here. And we'll see where that goes. Goes right over the top. Again, we could probably just terminate this at the side. So let's deselect the top edges here so we don't have any kinking with adding it by adding an extra edge here. So let's hold down Alt, deselect that, and we'll just do one more connect here. All right, so let's connect that up one segment right in the center. No pinch, no slide, and make planar on X. And we'll just kind of slide this over and line up with the verts on the circle, like so. Okay, and just to save time here, I'm just going to quickly just weld this over to the side. We'll just bring this over here. Whoops. And the same on the inside here, just weld this one over to the side. Okay, and over on this side we'll do the same thing. This one to here, whoops. And the same on the inside again. Okay, now triangle shouldn't give us any problems. Okay, so now that we have those edges in place, we can start cutting this in. So back into the top view, and we'll go back to cut here, turn our snaps back on, and just trace around it one more time. Okay, and then right click. All right, now we'll change our top view to bottom and do the same thing again. And you can see we're gonna have those verts there where we cut that in, but that's okay. We'll just click on those ones. Okay, and right click and turn off cut, turn off snaps. Grab that circle there and delete it. Okay, just check to make sure that cut in correctly on the top and the bottom here. And now we just need to quad it up. So back to vertex on the bottom here and just connect up the pairs. Oops, not that one, this one. Okay, and the same on the inside. And last one right here. Okay, so now that that's all quadded up, and again, it doesn't look awesome here, but because the bottom's flat, it really doesn't matter what the layout of these edges is, as long as we have quads, or mostly quads. Okay, so let's grab these polygons and the bottom ones, and we'll just kind of shape this out a bit. We're gonna add a little more detail to this than what we did on the top sides there. So let's inset it first. Let's maybe do this twice, and let's maybe extrude it. Take this down to a negative amount. Okay, we do have the bottom one selected here, so we don't want to go too far down. This is going to go right through the bottom ones. We can actually look at this in the side view. Okay, so you can see how far apart they are. Bring it down a little bit like that. Just to create a little bit of a dip in there. Let's hit OK to that. Let's maybe extrude or inset one more time. Okay, so we'll inset one more time. Take this up a little bit more. And we'll just give it a little bit more detail by extruding it out slightly above the surface. And let's just inset it one more time. We'll take this up a little bit more. Hit OK, and we'll hit bridge to punch it through. Okay, now we'll just support the edges here. So let's ring these ones. Now connect 2 segments. And we'll just kind of match the detail on the top and bottom. So I'm just going to bring these 2 edges here. And we'll just connect this up to support the shape. Let's get this one and the matching one on the bottom. And we pretty much don't really need to worry too much about how spaced these are apart, so we can just pretty much hit OK here. And we'll put one just on the side here. Right there, and right here. Alright, so another ring, another connect. Okay, so that should be enough to hold the shape. So let's test smooth it here with Turbo Smooth. We'll do 3 iterations just to see how that looks. Okay, and we'll check out the bottom. And that looks pretty good. We don't have any artifacting, and none of those verts that I moved around there are causing us any problems at all. Alright, so let's turn off Turbo Smooth here. We'll see what we have, if we need to clean anything else up. Okay, and again, you know, we could definitely remove a lot of these edges in here, or terminate them. Like these ones here don't need to necessarily continue underneath. We could get rid of most of that detail, but just for the sake of speed here, I think I'll just leave it like this. It's not causing any problems, and we still have quite a few pieces to a model here, so I think that looks pretty good for a tank. Let's just check and make sure everything's fitting correctly here on the model. So let's unhide all. Okay, and yeah, we have something interpenetrating right here. Okay, it looks like that's just through the side there, so let's see if we can adjust that a bit. We'll do it on the tank rather than doing it on the base. Alright, so let's see what this is here. Let's actually get rid of everything else besides these two pieces. So again, just select the tank and the base and hide everything else. Reselect the tank. Okay, we'll just zoom in here. Let's turn off the Turbo Smooth as well. And we'll see what's happening. Okay, you can see right here, this edge here, which is the side of the tank hole, is right on that edge, but over here we have it actually pushed over quite a bit. So this is the actual edge we need to be in front of on this side. So let's adjust this. Alright, and we don't want to really move the edges around too much, definitely not the vertical ones all the way up to the top because it's going to screw up the curve. So let's just move the ones down here at the bottom. I'm just going to grab these for a second. Let's also grab these as well. Okay. And we'll just maybe deselect these ones here. We don't need to move these or these. Okay, let's just grab these ones as well. Okay, so what we're going to do here is just pull it over. Oops, let's turn off our edge constraint. Pull it over on the x-axis until it clears, like that. And let's check it out here again. Let's move it a little bit more, like so. We just want to make sure that the outer edge there is past that transition, like so. Okay, again, that's going to twist out some edges, but that's fine. Okay, so let's smooth it one more time and see if we've fixed it. Okay, that looks pretty good. Go around this side. Let's also smooth the base again. Whoops. Okay, you can see it's slightly poking through the bottom there as well. We actually didn't add the support edges on the tank base that we added on the tank. We hardened these edges up here, which is why it's poking through at the bottom. This is more of a curved surface. So we could actually change the tank maybe just to reflect that curve. Alright, so let's go back inside the tank here. And let's just maybe take out a couple of these edges. Let's grab this one and this one here, the ones that we terminated up at the top here. See if those go anywhere useful. Should be okay, so let's loop those for a second. And we'll just control backspace those out. Okay, let's go back here. And we're going to need to do a little bit more work here. Just got to turn the smoothing back on and go underneath. Okay, so what we want to do here is just move these verts up a little bit until we can match that curve. Okay, we also have the supporting edge still on the other side, right here and right here. So let's loop those and control backspace them out. Okay, now we'll turn on show and result here so we can see it's smooth. And it's pretty much inside there. We can maybe move it up a bit. Let's just see. Let's grab these verts right here and these ones. Okay, we definitely don't want to move any on their side, so make sure we deselect these ones over here. Okay, so just the ones at the bottom of the hole there. And we're just going to slightly move them up until they're in the inside and everything's a little more even. Let's bring it up like that. Okay, I'm just going to try to match the curve here with what we have on this piece. Let's also grab these ones. deselect the ones over in the front there. And we'll just bring that up a little bit more. Okay, there we go. And that's fitting pretty good, so let's see what it looks like on the inside. Okay, so let's unhide all again. And one thing we do want to do is move this up so that we have the correct height here on the top. Alright, it's a little too far down right now. If we go back to our reference and find one of the pictures here, this one maybe, you can see that's sticking up quite a bit there. Alright, so we're just going to move up the top of the tank there, the verts, so that we can get the same height. Okay, so let's go back into edit poly here. Let's turn off show end result and go to vertex. And we'll just go up to the top here. Let's do it in the side view. Now we definitely don't want to move these edges up here because that's where those cut-ins are. These ones here. So we want to just select the ones above that point. Alright, so let's grab these ones here and make sure you turn off indoor back facing if you have it on. And we're just going to move these up all at once. Okay, so let's drag this up a bit. Make sure you turn off your edge constraint as well. Let's bring that up. Okay, and that's pretty close to the height we need. Let's maybe leave it something like that. Okay, so I'm just going to re-smooth it here. And let's give it one final check here to make sure everything's fitting correctly. It looked pretty good. We could slightly move the tank up here just to get a little bit more of a reveal here at the bottom. So I'm just going to slightly move this up just a bit. Like that. So we can kind of see a crack in there. That'll get a little bit more shadow when we render, which will give it a nicer look. Okay, so I think we're all done finally with this tank. Again, this is probably the most difficult piece. In the next part, we're going to do the inner tank and probably the filter, and that'll be a little bit more easy for us to do than this one was. Okay, so I think we'll wrap up part 7 here, and hopefully you're getting a good result on yours. If you have any questions or anything, just throw up a comment, and I'll try to respond as soon as I can. So yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next part, and thanks for watching.